After being reborn, my entire family can hear my thoughts. Should I spill the beans to mom that her cherished adopted daughter is actually my dad's illegitimate child? I witnessed my mom gripping the hand of the illegitimate daughter and trembling all of a sudden. I still haven't told my second brother that dad intentionally sabotaged him. I saw my second brother, who's hooked on gaming, and his phone suddenly gets scorching hot. If Ethan found out that someone dad arranged to injure his leg, would he be devastated? I saw Ethan sitting in his wheelchair, his hair practically smoking. So conflicting. If they discovered that all dad did was marry his childhood love, would our family fall apart? I noticed the change in everyone's eyes when they looked at dad. Just because I had a few spats with the adopted daughter at home, dad brutally tossed me out the window from the 13th floor, killing me instantly. After death, I didn't vanish right away. Instead, I became a spirit and stayed close to dad. Through this, I uncovered all of dad's secrets. He married mom only to climb the social ladder. Actually, he's been with a woman he's liked for ages. She even had a daughter for him, our adopted daughter, Bella. Since marrying mom, dad has been scheming to seize mom's family assets and build a wealthy, happy life with his beloved woman and their precious daughter. But unexpectedly, I was reborn. I went back to the day dad adopted Bella and brought her home. Bella, why not call mom right away? Dad introduced Bella to mom, nervously greeting her. Bella was shaking all over, her eyes darting away from everyone. She looked like a scared little bird. The part of her arm that was accidentally exposed was covered in whip marks. This pitiful look made mom feel sorry for her instantly. Later, she treated Bella as her own and even went out of her way to treat her better than me, fearing she might mistreat her. Just as mom reached out to take Bella's hand, what should I do? Should I tell mom? Bella is actually dad's illegitimate daughter. I saw mom's hand holding Bella tremble clearly. She glanced around and finally looked at me. I blinked and stared back innocently. Mom frowned, thinking I was hallucinating. Next, Bella was about to throw herself into mom's arms and cry pitifully to gain her sympathy. In the next moment, I saw Bella voluntarily throw herself into mom's arms and start crying loudly. In my last life, mom was deeply touched and cried while holding Bella. But this time, she couldn't cry at all. Her eyes were fixed on me. Maya, are you talking? No, I denied. Then I realized I couldn't let mom know I was reborn. She'd definitely see me as a freak. Mom's eyes widened like copper bells, looking super skeptical. At that moment, dad kindly stepped forward to comfort Bella. Bella, don't cry. This is your home now. Then he turned to me and said, Maya, take Bella back to her room. Oh, I agreed right away and thought silently, soon Bella will trip downstairs and accuse me of pushing her. Sure enough, halfway there, Bella suddenly tumbled down the stairs. Dad rushed over, hugged Bella immediately, and nervously asked, Bella, what happened? It wasn't Maya's fault. I slipped and fell accidentally, Bella said painfully. Dad immediately scolded me. Maya, Bella is your sister now. How could you target her? Have we spoiled you since you were little that you can pull off such stuff? Mom also came over at that moment, clearly not as fired up as Dad. When Bella saw Mom, she quickly said, Mom, don't blame Maya. I know you just can't accept me yet. After all, you only had one daughter before. I get it. In my last life, Bella was like that. She managed to make Mom develop a bias against me, insisting I lacked compassion. Later, Bella even intensified her slander, making Mom more and more disappointed in me, thereby spoiling only herself. This time, I thought it was over. I'd be blamed by my parents again. No matter how I explained, they wouldn't listen. Best to keep quiet. I saw guilt and sadness in Mom's eyes when she looked at me. In the next moment, Mom slapped Bella hard across the face, stunning her. I saw Dad standing there, momentarily frozen. Mom furiously said, I saw it clearly. You fell on your own. How dare you slander Maya? No wonder you were returned after being adopted. There must be something hateful about you. Adopting Bella was, of course, Dad's choice. He said that while doing charity at the orphanage, he saw a little girl who was pitiful. She'd been adopted before, but was abused by that family. He couldn't stand it and wanted to bring her home. He also mentioned that since I'm the only girl in the family, bringing her in would keep me company. Mom couldn't resist Dad's pushy tactics and agreed. Originally, Dad and Bella had everything planned out. They didn't expect their scheme to be uncovered on the first day. Just now, Dad deliberately stood in front of Mom because he feared she'd uncover the truth. I, I. Bella was so scared of Mom that she didn't know what to do and could only turn to Dad for help. Dad quickly explained, Bella has been abused all the time and lacks a sense of security, so she might have some misunderstandings. It's all a misunderstanding. Look, don't make such a big deal out of this. Don't scare the child. Mom was about to expose Dad's conspiracy. Suddenly, I heard my inner thoughts again. If we expose Dad now, he won't admit it. Moreover, it will stir up trouble. After all, Dad holds a lot of shares in the company now. Mom was stunned for a moment. I then thought, my two elder brothers must be on Dad's side. Usually, Dad is a kind father and Mom is a strict mother. If there's really a conflict, maybe the two elder brothers will back Dad. Mom fell silent, probably thinking my thoughts made sense. She tried hard to control her temper and said to Dad and Bella, I don't want this to happen again. Bella nodded obediently, still looking extremely pitiful. Mia, take her to her room, Mom ordered directly. Mia quickly took Bella upstairs. Dad still wanted to explain to Mom, aiming to make her accept and like Bella faster. But this time, Mom grabbed my hand and walked away from Dad without looking back. Dad watched Mom's figure with a puzzled expression. Usually, if he coaxed Mom a bit, she'd be all smiles. Why is she suddenly ignoring him now? I glanced back at his face and couldn't help but smirk coldly. He still doesn't realize his good days are numbered, right? Mom took me back to the room. She looked at me earnestly. Maya, tell Mom, do you know something about your dad? I looked innocent and quickly shook my head. I don't know. But in my heart, I thought, I can't say anything. If I do, Mom will be disappointed. In my previous life, when I found out Dad was in contact with an aunt and told Mom, she said I'd start rumors at such a young age. Mom also said I lacked compassion. She believed that just because Dad dotes on Bella a bit more, I wanted to cause chaos. I'm so scared Mom won't love me anymore. I saw Mom's eyes fill with tears instantly, her face full of heartache and guilt. She said, Maya, you're Mom's daughter. Mom loves you the most in this life. I love Mom the most too. I was deeply touched and threw myself into her arms. Mom didn't force me to say more. Just after that, I could clearly feel her growing estranged from Dad and Bella. Every time Bella tried to be nice to Mom, she ignored her. When Dad showed affection to Mom, she also ignored him. Even Mom, who usually didn't go to the company often, started going more frequently during this period. I saw that Dad and Bella were both getting a bit impatient. After dinner, they hid in a corner and whispered. Bella said, Dad, didn't you say that woman is easy to please, but no matter what I do, she's always cold to me? Why is that? Dad replied, I don't know what's going on either. She's like a different person. Maybe she's going through menopause and has a bad temper. Don't worry about her. Tomorrow, your second brother will come home for winter break. He's pretty clueless. You should charm him first. Okay, Bella agreed. You gotta quickly replace Maya's spot in this family. Once you become everyone's favorite, it'll be easy for us to grab the family property in the future. Then we can bring your mom here to enjoy the perks. Dad warned, Don't worry, Dad. Maya's a total fool in a greenhouse. How can she be my competition? I'll soon win the whole family's love. Bella was confident. In my previous life, it was exactly like this. I not only had no guard against Bella, but also saw her as my own sister under Dad's brainwashing. But she schemed and wronged me everywhere, making the whole family think I was selfish. In the end, only she was favored. But in this life, she won't have such luck. The next day at noon, my second brother came home for winter break. He's a big guy, weighing around 200 pounds. He never exercises normally and just loves junk food. He doesn't study either. He plays games every day. The university he attends is funded by family money. Outsiders see my second brother as a useless guy. Mom never expected him to turn out like this. But initially, she did invest a lot in my eldest brother's education. My second brother was mainly looked after by Dad. Dad always told him that my eldest brother was in charge at home, and he just needed to be a carefree rich kid. Gradually, my second brother lost his drive and only knew how to laze around and wait for the worst. Second brother. Bella was the first to approach him. She leaned close and whispered, I heard Dad loves potato chips, fried chicken, spicy strips, and instant noodles the most. I bought them early and put them all in your room. I also got the Coke you like. Don't tell Mom. I saw the surprise in my second brother's eyes. Mom doesn't allow these foods at home. Every time he comes back, she checks his luggage, not letting him enjoy these snacks. In the past, Dad secretly bought them for him. Now it's Bella. I clearly felt my second brother instantly warmed up to Bella until he heard my inner thoughts. Watching my second brother getting close to Bella, I pouted and thought, he's already so fat, still eating junk? Is he really going to be a deadbeat otaku his whole life? When I saw my second brother's smiling, chubby face, I suddenly froze. He turned his head, his eyes locked on me, staring intensely. The principle that eating too much junk is bad is known even to 3-year-olds. Hasn't he figured out why Dad and Bella are giving him these things? What are you saying? My second brother snapped at me angrily. I didn't say anything. I looked innocent. My second brother was a bit surprised since he didn't see me speak, but then he heard my voice again. Better not tell him that Dad is purposely making him useless. His eyes widened in shock as he looked at me. I continued to think, but my second brother will really get esophageal cancer from eating too much junk. In the end, when he dies, he'll be as thin as a stick. My second brother's eyes widened in disbelief as he looked at me. I turned and left immediately. As I walked, I thought, let him get close to Dad and Bella. After Bella arrives, he won't love me anymore. Maya, my second brother, called me. I turned back. What's up, brother? He hesitated for a moment, maybe doubting himself. He said, I brought you a gift. Before Bella joined the family, I was the favorite. Everyone adored me. Even you, rebellious second brother. I walked over slowly. My second brother handed me a figurine. Do you like it? Yeah, I nodded, but not enthusiastically. I muttered in my heart. He's so nice to me now. Soon he'll only be nice to Bella. Even this figurine will end up snatched by Bella in the end. How? This is a gift from second brother to you. My second brother just started to speak when Bella interrupted. Wow, it's so beautiful. I've never seen such an exquisite figurine since I was a kid. It's like the real thing. My second brother looked at Bella with some annoyance. Bella said enviously, Maya is so happy. Second brother is so kind to Maya. If I could have such a beautiful figurine to sleep with me, I'd be the happiest little girl ever. In my previous life, Bella used this innocent look to make my second brother generously offer to give the figurine to her, promising to buy me another one later. In fact, after I gave it to Bella, my second brother never bought me one again. His affection for me was all taken by Bella. At this moment, without waiting for my second brother to speak, I directly handed the figurine to Bella. If you like it, you can take it. I thought, anyway, if I don't give it, second brother will push me to. I don't want to embarrass him. Bella looked delighted. Really? Thanks, Maya. At that moment, I resignedly thought Bella will purposely drop the figurine and accuse me of breaking it, just like before. As soon as I let go, the figurine fell to the ground, making a ceramic shatter sound. At the same time, Bella's heartbroken cry rang out. Such a beautiful figurine, how could it be broken? I've dreamed of having it since I was a child. While crying, she questioned me. Maya, even if you didn't want to give it to me, you can't break it. Then she quickly said to my second brother, Brother, please don't blame Maya. She must have been careless. Why blame Maya? My second brother was baffled. Looking at Bella, there was still disgust in his eyes. Bella was a bit embarrassed and puzzled. She thought second brother would blame me and call me petty. But she didn't expect second brother to retort, making her prepared lines falter. It's your fault you didn't catch the figurine. Blame it on you. Why blame Maya? It was when Maya handed it to me that you deliberately threw it on the ground. Bella explained softly, then pretended to be generous. It doesn't matter. I won't hold it against you. You still hold it against her? What right do you have to hold it against her? You did something wrong, and not only don't repent, but also sow discord. What's on your mind? My second brother's voice was loud. Bella turned red from his words. Who let you come to my house? Get out. Go back where you came from. This family doesn't welcome you. He was about to drag Bella away by force. Bella was so scared she burst into loud cries. Dad originally wanted to give Bella enough space to please my second brother, so he wasn't in the living room. Mom had gone to work and hadn't returned yet. At this moment, Dad heard the commotion and quickly came out. "What's going on?" Ethan said. "How can you treat your sister like this?" Dad sternly responded. My second brother shouted at Dad, "She's not my sister. Maya is my sister. Did you bring her back? Send her away quickly." "What nonsense are you talking about? Bella is part of the family once she's home." "How can you be so clueless when you're so old?" Dad scolded and pulled Bella to his side. "It's a pity your sister even prepared snacks for you and bought them risking being caught by Mom. But you're so ungrateful." When Dad mentioned snacks, I saw my second brother get furious. Just as he was about to argue loudly with Dad, I heard my inner voice again. If I were second brother, I wouldn't fight Dad now. Anyway, arguing is pointless. Dad brought Bella home just to grab our family property. At this point, second brother should hustle and start fresh, finally catching Dad off guard. My second brother paused and swallowed the words on his tongue. He threw down a sentence. "Anyway, I only have Maya as my sister," and left with me. Dad and Bella looked at each other, confused and clueless. They couldn't figure out why our family suddenly became smart. Why can't they deceive us anymore? Back in my second brother's room, he angrily threw away all the snacks Bella prepared. As if thinking of something else, he also uninstalled games from his phone. After doing all this, he suddenly looked at me and seriously asked, "Maya, was I really so disappointing to you before?" I quickly shook my head and encouraged him. "No, I know second brother is the best." I also didn't forget to think, second brother was just deceived by Dad. I know he's smart and will definitely turn into an excellent person in the future. My second brother smiled, looking somewhat touched. He said, "Maya, I'll work hard to be excellent and won't let anyone bully you, okay? I believe in you." I nodded vigorously. The first thing my second brother did after coming home was go to the hospital for a full checkup, then hired a personal trainer and started a weight loss plan. Besides shedding pounds, he picked up books again and hired a tutor to catch up on lessons from primary school. He spent the entire winter break studying and losing weight, directly shocking Dad and Bella. Obviously, they did nothing. Why did both Mom and my second brother change after Bella joined the family? Mom wasn't originally involved in the company and left all affairs to Dad. Dad was just a bit short of winning over the hearts of the people in the company and becoming the real power controlling it. As a result, once Mom started going to the company and became the true head, those wavering shareholders and senior execs stopped supporting Dad's account. Dad was so pissed he spat blood. I heard him secretly talking to Bella again, clearly more dissatisfied with her. "What's wrong with you? Didn't I ask you to come back and please our family? Why did you mess things up instead? This is getting farther from my plan. How can I bring Mom here to enjoy the perks?" Dad's voice was reproachful. "I don't know either. I did everything you taught me, but they don't believe me." Bella cried, clearly wronged. Dad didn't know what went wrong either. He was a bit irritable and gave up. "Your eldest brother will be back for the spring festival soon. He trusts me the most and is most grateful to me. Don't worry about others. Anyway, they're all unpromising. Your eldest brother is the designated heir of this family. Well, this time I'll definitely perform well. I'll make sure eldest brother likes me," Bella promised, probably feeling a bit reluctant inside. She just felt she was better than me in everything, better at reading people's expressions and showing herself. Why couldn't she gain the whole family's love? In my previous life, when Dad threw me off the rooftop, she arrogantly taunted me, saying that with just one finger, she made me lose everything. After I accidentally fell off the rooftop and died on the spot, Mom and my two elder brothers were still very sad. But soon, they were all confused by Bella's sugar-coated lies. Not long after, they were all wiped out by Dad and Bella. Thinking about all that in my previous life, I clenched my teeth. This time, it's Dad and Bella's turn for retribution. A week before the spring festival, my eldest brother returned from recovering abroad. Half a year ago, his car suddenly had brake failure, and he had a serious accident. That day, Mom and I were traveling abroad, and my second brother was gaming at home. It was Dad who first rushed to save my eldest brother. They say it rained heavily that day, and the road collapsed, so the ambulance couldn't reach the accident site in time. It was Dad who carried my eldest brother for several kilometers before putting him on the ambulance. The whole process was filmed by passers-by. Everyone praised the greatness of fatherly love. Our whole family also felt deeper respect for Dad, but the truth is, Dad had someone tampered with that car accident because my eldest brother is the heir. So Dad wanted to eliminate him early. If my eldest brother dies and my second brother remains useless, only I'd be left. In Dad's mind, I'm easy to handle. Just let Bella join the family and replace me. This way, the family business would naturally belong to Dad and his daughter. But unexpectedly, after the car accident, my eldest brother didn't die on the spot. Dad didn't want to save him initially, but he was filmed by passersby. There was no way around it, so he had to put on such a dramatic show. My eldest brother was sent to the hospital for rescue. In the end, he survived but became disabled in both legs. Dad suggested that my eldest brother go abroad for further treatment. He said that medical equipment abroad is more advanced and helpful for my eldest brother's recovery. He actively helped my eldest brother contact the best private hospitals. As expected, after half a year, there was no improvement in my eldest brother's legs at all. "Ethan, you're finally back. I've always wanted to see you." Bella ran up to him, smiling like a beautiful butterfly. She said, "Dad has been talking about you all along. You're mature, stable, handsome, and charming. Meeting you is better than just hearing about you. You're younger and more good-looking than I imagined." My eldest brother had become very insecure and even a bit withdrawn due to his disabled legs. For a while, Mom and I would often fly abroad to see him, but we were all driven away by him. He didn't want to see anyone. The only person he would see was Dad. In the end, we didn't dare visit him anymore. Now, Bella's initiative clearly made my eldest brother uncomfortable, but it seemed he couldn't resist her enthusiasm. Her eyes were full of joy seeing him. "Ethan, are you tired after the long flight? Let me give you a back massage." As she said this, she was very active in massaging my eldest brother's back and kept asking, "Ethan, is it comfortable?" I knew you were coming back, so I learned massage specifically. The massage master even taught me how to massage your legs to help with blood circulation. "After you come back, I'll massage you every day, okay?" I saw that my eldest brother was a bit embarrassed, but accepted it happily. This time, I had no inner thoughts. Let Bella show off for now. As the saying goes, the higher you climb, the harder you fall. If we don't give them a little sweetness, how can we push them to desperation in the end? After that, Bella quickly won over my eldest brother. Originally, she was a bit self-doubting. Since being accepted by my eldest brother, she became like a peacock spreading its tail and became active at home. Dad was also very pleased. His daughter, whom he painstakingly cultivated for years, couldn't be useless. How could she be inferior to me? So they started making big moves. Bella's 15th birthday was scheduled 2 days before the spring festival. Dad was busy arranging a grand party at home, inviting all relatives and friends, essentially introducing her formally. Mom was not happy. She harbored deep resentment towards Bella. After all, no one willingly raises their husband's illegitimate daughter. To avoid alerting the enemy, Mom endured it. However, she didn't participate in the party preparations this time. She left everything to Dad. Out of sight, out of mind. Dad was certainly thrilled. He had put so much effort into the party. So, on Bella's birthday, many people came to our home. Dad invited almost all important relatives and friends to celebrate Bella's birthday. The huge villa was buzzing with life. Bella wore a beautiful pink dress, following Dad around. Dad enthusiastically introduced Bella to everyone. Mom couldn't stand it and lied that she had something to do, returning to her room. My second brother didn't even go downstairs at all. The reason was he had to study. Only my eldest brother, who hadn't socialized since his legs were disabled in the accident, appeared in the hall for Bella. Bella walked with Dad and approached me. I was just munching on something in the dessert area, alone. She said with a smile, "Maya, this skirt is a gift from Ethan. I heard it's really expensive. I love it. Do you think it's beautiful?" Bella spun around in front of me several times, deliberately showing off. It was the same as before. She used this tactic to increase my hatred for her and then appear weak and helpless. I was indeed tricked by her before and had a very unpleasant quarrel with her. As a result, the whole family and everyone at her birthday party started accusing me of being insensitive. This time, I didn't bother to pay attention to her. I just said faintly, "It's really beautiful." "It suits you perfectly. Aren't you jealous?" Bella saw that I didn't fall for it and continued to stir up trouble. No, I'm not jealous, I said generously. Ethan bought me many beautiful skirts before. Today he bought you one for your birthday. There's nothing to be jealous about. I thought you'd be unhappy. I heard you were the one most attached to Ethan. These days, Ethan accompanied me more to help me adapt to this family. I was worried you'd be unhappy. Luckily, you aren't. I misunderstood you. You're not so dependent on Ethan. At this moment, Ethan just came over, pushing his wheelchair. I didn't know what Bella had said to Ethan lately. Anyway, Ethan clearly felt protective of Bella. Seeing us alone together, fearing I might bully Bella, he came over on his own. Bella certainly noticed this. These words were deliberately said for Ethan to hear. She just wanted to tell Ethan that my feelings for him aren't as deep as hers. Isn't it because Dad said you're new to this family and asked us all to take care of you more? Do I have to be as pushy as you and keep occupying Ethan all the time? I asked her with a puzzled look. Bella was a bit embarrassed by what I said, but only for a second. In the next moment, she immediately began to shamelessly accuse me. Are you blaming me for taking up Ethan's time? But you just said you didn't care. As she spoke, tears fell freely. People who didn't know would think what I did to her. When Ethan saw Bella crying hard, his voice deepened. What's going on? Nothing at all. Bella pitifully said, I'll definitely be more considerate in the future. Maya, don't be angry, okay? I came to this family to join you, not to destroy you. I'll definitely be more considerate from now on. How shameless must Bella be to say such a brazen thing? Maya, looking at the mockery at the corner of my mouth, Ethan's face darkened even more. Without even asking about the details, he directly stood by Bella's side. Bella had just joined the family and wasn't familiar with anything. Mom and my second brother ignored her. As a younger sister, can't you take better care of her? I asked seriously. Can't you? Ethan retorted. You've been spoiled by the family since you were young and don't know how to yield at all. Coincidentally, after Bella joined, you should also learn how to get along with your peers. Saying that, Ethan was about to take Bella aside and left me alone in the banquet hall. Even though I had experienced it once before, I still felt very uncomfortable. I held back my impulse. After all, the best show was yet to come. I just watched as Ethan was about to take Bella away. After taking just 2 steps, Bella's pink dress suddenly made a ripping sound and tore. The back hem was very long and easy to step on. However, I didn't step on it. Bella deliberately stepped on it and damaged her own clothes when Ethan wasn't looking. As soon as Ethan turned his head, she immediately hit her foot and then covered her dress that was sagging a bit at the strapless part due to the torn clothes. She seemed very distraught. She couldn't help but loudly question me, Maya, how could you do this to me? Only Ethan noticed the little episode between me and Bella just now. Maybe Dad did too. Dad was fully prepared for tonight. At this moment, because of Bella's scream, everyone in the hall was drawn to it. Bella seemed even more distraught and ashamed. Ethan quickly took off his suit jacket and handed it to Bella. Bella took it angrily and wrapped it tightly around herself. Like a scared little bird, she evoked pity and love. What's wrong? At this time, Dad also came over. Maya, Bella stammered. In front of so many people, she didn't dare to speak. Ethan, what exactly happened? Dad asked. Ethan was outspoken and didn't give me any face. He directly blamed me. Maya stepped on Bella's dress and tore it. Maya, how could you treat your elder sister like this? It's her birthday today. Can't you be less jealous? She's never had a decent birthday in 15 years. At this moment in the hall, there were murmurs. Maya is really spoiled? How could she embarrass Bella so much in public? Now that Bella has joined the family, she's their daughter. How could Maya be so domineering? I heard Bella is very unlucky. Maya really has no empathy at all. Everyone was blaming me. I saw the triumphant smiles in Dad's and Bella's eyes were almost impossible to hide. They thought their sinister plan was about to succeed. I calmly sent my heartfelt words to Ethan. It's useless for me to explain now, right? Even my beloved Ethan thinks I deliberately stepped on Bella's dress. Ethan froze for a moment, clearly puzzled. Why didn't he see me speaking, but only hear my voice? I continued. In fact, it doesn't matter if I'm wronged. but I really don't want Ethan to be kept in the dark by Dad about everything. If Ethan knew someone hired by Dad hit his leg, would he be very sad? He loves Dad so much. I don't want Ethan to be sad. Ethan was sitting in his wheelchair. I watched as his face suddenly changed drastically. He tightly grasped both sides of the wheelchair with his hands, his body shaking with anger. Bella was very close to Ethan. She immediately sensed the change in his emotions and almost couldn't help but smile at the corner of her mouth. She thought Ethan was angry with her and mad at me. Bella probably felt the time was ripe and quickly said, "Maya, if you don't like me so much, I'll leave this family. I can come to this family and enjoy the happiness here. With mom, dad, an elder brother, and a younger sister, I already feel very happy. I don't dare ask for anything more and don't want to make Maya unhappy. If you're unhappy, no matter how much I like this family, I won't feel happy." Bella's sincere words instantly moved everyone. Relatives and friends at home began to blame me again for her. "Maya, this is your immaturity. Bella is so considerate of you. Why don't you get along well with her? Listen to your aunt. Apologize to Bella and don't be so stubborn anymore. Bella is so kind-hearted. It's your blessing to have such an elder sister. Hurry up and apologize to Bella and don't break her heart." Seeing so many people on her side, Bella became even more confident. She said, "Don't make things difficult for Maya. I don't want her to be sad in this family." She paused for a moment, seemingly a bit sad. After a long while, she said, "I was originally adopted. I never belonged to this family. Don't talk about Maya anymore. Since you don't like me, I should leave. Since I brought you home, you belong to this family." Dad firmly echoed Bella, "I have nothing that belongs to this family." Bella said painfully, "I have nothing. I haven't contributed to this family. How can you be so unconfident?" Dad said helplessly, "Dad, please send me to the orphanage tonight. That's where I belong. How can I prove that you have status and identity in our family? How can I make you feel that our whole family welcomes you?" Dad looked very anxious, like an ant on a hot pan, eager to keep Bella but unable to think of a better way. If I hadn't experienced it once myself, I'd really be deceived by him again. It's a pity Dad didn't become an Oscar winner. For more than 10 years, he's been acting flawlessly in our Maya family. Actually, Dad is not my biological father. My biological father died in an accident less than a year after I was born. Dad is just a small supervisor in Mom's company. After learning that Mom was widowed, he began to pursue Mom aggressively. Mom had never considered Dad before. She had deep feelings for my biological father, but she couldn't resist Dad's approach through me and my two elder brothers. He was so good to us. So good that Mom, my two elder brothers, and I were all enchanted. When I was 3, I had a high fever that was very serious. After my biological father died, Mom ran the company alone. That day, there was an urgent matter at work and she couldn't leave. That night, Dad volunteered to take me to the hospital. When Mom finished her work and rushed to the hospital, she saw Dad holding me and falling asleep on the hospital bed. For 2 whole years, Mom was finally moved by Dad. Relatives around us, including those from my biological father's side, all advised Mom to accept Dad. Mom finally let her guard down and married Dad. When Dad married, he publicly vowed to love Mom for a lifetime, take care of me and my 2 elder brothers forever, and that only the 3 of us would be his children in this life. Dad kept his word and didn't have any more children with Mom for over 10 years. Actually, for a while, Mom thought about having another child for Dad. Our family was already well off and could afford to raise several more kids. She also hoped to leave a bloodline for Dad. But Dad didn't agree. He said that the 3 children were his bloodline, and he was very content. Seeing Dad so firm, Mom didn't push anymore. However, her feelings for Dad were obviously growing deeper. Later, my 2 elder brothers and I changed our address and called him Dad. Outsiders saw Dad as infatuated and great. No one would have thought all this was Dad's scheme. Dad didn't have a child with Mom because he already had a daughter with his childhood sweetheart. He also didn't want any entanglement with Mom because of children. From the very start, he wanted to destroy our family. In my previous life, he did achieve it. He took away Mom's company and forced her to jump off a building. He let my eldest brother fend for himself abroad with a limp. He watched my second elder brother get tortured to death by illness. He pushed me off the rooftop, making me die with regret. He brought his childhood sweetheart and their precious daughter, Bella, and blatantly enjoyed everything in our Maya family. At this moment, someone suddenly shouted in the hall, "Isn't this simple? Bella doesn't feel safe in this family. You give her a sense of security. You give her shares of the Maya family group now. Once she has shares, who can still say she's not part of the Maya family?" Although the person speaking was a relative from Mom's side, he had long been bribed by Dad. The reason he used this method was also because Dad succeeded before. Back then, to share the burden for Mom, Dad became a top leader of the company. As a result, he was criticized for being unworthy. Of course, it was all Dad's self-directed and self-acted. In a fit of anger, Mom gave Dad 20% of the shares. Now Dad wants to repeat the same trick. "I can't stand it. I can't stand it." Bella quickly refused, looking considerate and aggrieved. In my previous life, these shares were given by Mom. Mom split the shares and gave Bella 10%. At that time, Mom only had 30% in her hands. After giving Bella, she was left with 20%. Of the other shares, 20% was held by my eldest brother, 20% by Dad, and 30% were distributed among various shareholders with different surnames. Dad used the 20% he had and the 10% of Bella's. Then he secretly acquired some shares held by other shareholders. He also set a trap to make my brother take out 10%. Thus, he became the largest shareholder of the Maya family group. This time, Mom wasn't here. I saw Dad eyeing my eldest brother. He said, "Ethan, Dad has never asked you for anything. You also know that the shares Dad holds are to better share the hardships of Mom's work in the company. You're temporarily recovering and don't need to work. Give 10% to Bella first. Later, Dad will find a way to make up this part for you." Dad said it as if it was obvious. He didn't think my eldest brother would refuse him. How could he? Just now, Ethan embarrassed me in public to defend Bella. At this moment, if he gives Bella shares, it will be the best lesson for me. He thinks my eldest brother can't refuse. But he didn't notice that Mom and my second brother had gone downstairs. Probably the servant had reported it. Afraid that I'd be at a disadvantage, Mom and my second brother hurried down. So, at this moment, the whole family heard my heartfelt words together. If Ethan gives the shares to Bella, it will be one step closer for Dad to seize our family property. In fact, Ethan's leg isn't incurable. It's just that Dad never treated it wholeheartedly. The foreign doctor was deliberately arranged by him. It's so conflicting. If they know that everything Dad has done is just to marry his childhood sweetheart, will this family fall apart? I saw the looks in everyone's eyes when they looked at Dad, completely different. Ethan was so angry that even his hair seemed to be smoking. At this moment, Bella was still deliberately refusing. In front of Ethan, she coquettishly said, "Dad, I don't want it. How can I take Ethan's shares? Ethan, don't listen to Dad. I won't be so clueless." As she spoke, she reached out to pull Ethan's arm, wanting to act cute. As a result, as soon as she touched Ethan, there was a loud bang. She was instantly pushed to the ground by Ethan, stunning everyone. Even Bella was so shocked she forgot to cry out in pain. Dad was the first to react. In disbelief, he said, "Ethan, what are you doing? How can you treat Bella like this? Have you taken the wrong medicine?" "Heh," Ethan sneered, looking at Dad with eyes that seemed to want to cut him into pieces. In my previous life, after I died and became a spirit following Dad, when I knew the truth, I wanted to bite Dad to death, but I couldn't. I calmed myself and thought, Ethan has no evidence to accuse Dad now. Certainly no one would believe him, and they'd still think our whole family bullied Bella. It's not worth it for Dad and Bella to make our whole family the target of criticism. There are surveillance cameras at home. As long as we replay the footage, we'll know if Bella wronged me or not. I saw Ethan trying hard to restrain himself. Dad was still criticizing that Ethan's temperament changed after the car accident. Others also thought what Dad said made sense, and all stood by Dad's side. Until Ethan commanded, "Mia, bring up the surveillance footage of the hall just now." As soon as Bella heard about the surveillance, she panicked immediately. She hurriedly looked at Dad in fright. Dad was also a bit flustered. He said, "What are you bringing up the surveillance for?" Ethan ignored him. Dad roared at Mia, "Don't bring up the surveillance. I'm in charge of this family." Mom spoke with a strong, intimidating aura. "Mia, bring up the surveillance." Yes, Seeing that the situation was irreversible, Bella quickly got up from the ground. Since Ethan doesn't welcome me and the whole family doesn't welcome me, then I'll leave. I'll leave. Before clearing my sister's name, no one is allowed to leave, Ethan reprimanded. Although he's now disabled in both legs, he's the heir personally cultivated by Mom. His aura is no less than Mom's. It was just an accident that made him temporarily decadent. Bella didn't dare to speak anymore. Dad wanted to speak several times but finally stayed silent. The surveillance footage was shown, and everyone clearly saw that Bella deliberately stepped on and damaged her own skirt. Then, she even falsely accused me first like a villain. Public opinion immediately reversed. At this moment, Bella wasn't drowned by criticism. Even with the thickest skin, she was so humiliated she could die. Send her away. I don't want to see her again. I didn't waste any words. No, I won't leave, Bella said as soon as she heard she was going to be sent away. She couldn't bear it. She had just lived in this nice house and just got the identity of a young lady in the Maya family. She was reluctant to leave. It has to be said that over the years, Dad was afraid of revealing flaws and didn't dare to give too much to Bella and her mother. What Bella enjoys in our family now is completely different from what she enjoyed with her mother. I will never do it again. Mom, can you give me another chance? Bella cried bitterly. If it weren't for everyone seeing her true colors, they'd really be deceived by her again. Mom didn't even look at her and sent her away. Don't dirty this house. Daddy, Bella begged Dad again. Of course, Dad wasn't stupid. He knew Bella was useless. He immediately cut off his relationship with Bella. I didn't expect you to be such a person. I misjudged you. I'll send you away now. As he spoke, he said to Mom again, I really didn't expect her to be so good at pretending. I'll send her away immediately. Don't be angry, Mom gave a light chuckle. Now, looking at Dad was like looking at a clown. Dad thought Mom was still angry and didn't think much. He dragged Bella and left. After Dad sent Bella away, the first thing he did when he came back was apologize to our whole family in front of all the guests. Dad was very remorseful and appeared very innocent. He said he didn't know Bella was such a person. He was also deceived by her. He was so kind to Bella, and his feelings were deeply hurt. Mom said bluntly, the one who was hurt the most is Maya. She was almost wronged by Bella. Dad quickly nodded. Yes, Maya was hurt the most. It's Dad's fault. Dad apologizes to you, okay? Dad promises that he'll never be soft-hearted and adopt other children again. You're Dad's only daughter. I wanted to vomit but held it back. Mom said, since harm has been caused, a few words of comfort are too insincere. You should make substantial compensation. Then Maya, tell Dad what you want. Dad will satisfy you with anything, Dad said sincerely. Anything is fine? I asked innocently. Of course. When did Dad not keep his word? Dad promised. He thought he could, as always, just give me a small piece of candy and buy my heart. I want the shares of the Maya family group in Dad's hands, I said directly. I saw Dad's face change visibly. After a long time, he stammered, You're only 14 years old. Shares aren't practical for you. But Dad just said he'd give shares to Bella. Isn't Maya more important than Bella in Dad's mind? I asked him with a hurt look, seemingly a casual remark. Is Bella your biological daughter? This sentence directly scared Dad. How is that possible? Don't talk nonsense. I only have you as a daughter. Then why is Dad willing to give shares to Bella but not to me? My shares are to help your mom in the company. No need, Mom said. Just now, Ethan agreed to work in the company. Ethan isn't. Dad didn't believe it. He was convinced that my eldest brother would always be listless. I'm the eldest son in the family. I should take on the family responsibilities. I'm the eldest son in the family. I should take on the family responsibilities. Ethan repeated word for word. Dad gritted his teeth. Obviously, he was still unwilling but couldn't find a reason to refuse. Can Dad give me shares now? You just said you'd agree to anything for me? I looked at him expectantly. There were so many people in the hall, and the guests were all staring at him. If he refused, he'd lose face. He gritted his teeth. Now he didn't dare to tear apart with his family. In his opinion, if he tears apart, he only has these 20% of shares. If he doesn't tear apart, he still has a chance to turn the tables. He's come this far in so many years. How can he be reconciled? He said, okay. Dad reluctantly gave up what he cherished. I said happily, does Dad want to give me all the shares in his hands? It's fine to give you 10%. Just now when I asked your eldest brother to give Bella, it was also this much. Dad bargained. Shouldn't I be more important than Bella in Dad's mind? I said sadly. Dad didn't speak for a long time. Obviously, he was unwilling. Mom said bluntly, when you took my shares back then, you repeatedly said you didn't want them. In the end, they were all left for the children. Now it's just given to Maya in advance to make up for her hurt feelings. And you're not willing? Dad was cornered by Mom and couldn't step down. There were so many relatives and friends, and they all saw it. Whether he wanted to maintain his good guy image from before was up to him. If he maintains his image, his plans for over 10 years will be in vain. But if he doesn't, he only has these 20%. He won't be satisfied. Mom didn't urge Dad either. She gave him time to think it over carefully. Anyway, it wasn't her who was embarrassed. Sweat beads on Dad's forehead fell one by one. People around started whispering, how can there be someone who really doesn't want anything? It's just that what was said before was too much. It's a bit awkward. If you really treat your children as your own, how could you mind these shares? Still selfish. People are all selfish. In front of so many people, Dad couldn't bear to lose face after all. I saw a flash of ruthlessness in his eyes, which disappeared instantly. In the next moment, he suddenly appeared very generous. He said, how could I not be willing? When I took these shares back then, I said they were for the children to keep. I was just considering whether to give 10% to Ethan. Since Asher and Maya have shares, Ethan can't be left out. I don't need it, just give it to Maya, Ethan directly refused. Everyone knew what he was thinking. He thought my second brother was the easiest to control. Now, the diligence shown by my second brother was all pretended and wouldn't last a few days. Since Ethan doesn't want it, then I'll give it to Maya, Dad said, taking advantage of the situation. Thank you, Dad. I accepted it happily. Mom didn't delay at all. She directly called the company's lawyer and signed the share transfer agreement on the spot. Dad probably couldn't figure it out until he died. Originally, he called Bella to help him, but unexpectedly, he lost his wife and his soldiers. He must be extremely regretful, right? Of course, this was still not enough for our whole family. In the previous life, we were ruined by him. In this life, of course, we must repay him doubly. After that, our family returned to normal. But obviously, Dad started to panic. Without shares, he had no control over the company. Mom and Ethan went to work normally. Ethan would still find time to exercise. My second brother was crazy about fitness and studying. I was still the favorite of the family. Our family was developing in a better direction, contrary to what Dad wanted. He finally couldn't hold it back. He made an excuse that something happened to a relative and needed to go back to his hometown, then left. On the night he left, he secretly rented a car again and drove dozens of kilometers back to the villa. While our whole family was asleep, he set a fire and burned down our villa. It was past 3 in the morning. Everyone was asleep, and no one noticed. By the time the property management found out, the fire had already engulfed the entire villa. The firefighters took the whole night to completely extinguish the fire. Dad came back only after receiving the notice the next day. As soon as he returned, he knelt on the ground and cried heartbreakingly. People who saw him couldn't help but feel distressed and came forward to comfort him one after another. Dad seemed not to hear. He was extremely broken. If I had known, I wouldn't have left. If I had known, I'd have died with you. Now that you're all dead, what's the point of me living alone? He acted so real that no one saw the triumphant smile in his eyes. Now our whole family was dead, and he was the only heir. At that moment, he was secretly proud. Dad, I stood behind him and called him. I saw Dad's body tremble. He thought he was having an illusion. Husband, Mom also called him. He turned his head, trembling. Seeing our whole family standing safely behind him, he was so scared he slumped to the ground. Are you ghosts? We're alive and well, I said. We went on a cruise yesterday and just came back. You weren't at home? Dad was instantly excited. The rage in his eyes was unstoppable. He couldn't wait to kill us immediately. No, I replied innocently. Why has our house become like this? Dad's eyes began to flicker. He was trying to control himself. I heard there were stray cats a few days ago. It seems that I installed a few hidden cameras at the door. Let me take a look. As I said, I was about to take out my phone to watch the surveillance playback. Dad was directly frightened. He suddenly got up from the ground, grabbed my phone, and smashed it on the floor frantically. Everyone was staring at him. Dad said with a smile, "It's good that you're all right. Nothing else matters. As long as our family is intact, you're all right." Our family was indeed intact, but without me. Mom made it clear. "What, wife? What are you talking about?" Dad was so panicked he couldn't hide it anymore. Mom said, "Don't you know best what you've done yourself? I've handed over the evidence to the police." "What are you talking about?" Dad went crazy. He still wouldn't admit everything he'd done, even when he was hysterical. "I've handed over the video of you setting fire to the villa last night to the police," Mom said, and her eyes turned. "Look, the police are here." Dad saw the police and ran away. But how could he outsmart the police? He was subdued to the ground in a few strokes, looking extremely embarrassed. He was taken into the police car by the officers. He shouted loudly, "How did you find out? How did you find out? I did it so flawlessly. How could you possibly find out?" He couldn't figure it out. Where did he go wrong? He couldn't accept that after so many years of enduring humiliation, it ended up being his own downfall. In the end, since there were no casualties, Dad was only sentenced to 10 years in prison. After he was imprisoned, I still went to see him. The moment he saw me, he was very excited. He said, "Maya, you still love Daddy, right? When Daddy gets out of prison, Daddy will take you to the amusement park and buy you delicious food." "I don't love you," I interrupted him. It was disgusting to listen to. "Then why did you come? You came to see me because you can't stand me." "I came to see your joke." I curled up a cruel smile at the corner of my mouth. Such a smile shouldn't exist on the face of a 15-year-old girl. Dad was full of horror. "You? Who are you?" "You're not Maya. How could you not be? It's just not what you imagined." I looked at him and smiled even deeper. "Dad, you must be very curious why you calculated everything carefully but ended up failing in the end, right?" "Why?" Dad was very excited. "Because heaven will punish every bad person. Otherwise, how could I be given a chance to be reborn?" "You?" Dad thought I was teasing him and almost stood up to hit me. As soon as he made this move, he was pressed down by the prison guard. The pain made him immediately beg for mercy. Looking at him like this was really satisfying. "Dad, no matter whether we're related by blood or not, after all, we've been father and daughter. Let me give you a gift." Dad looked at me with some expectation in his eyes. I told him, "Bella is not your biological daughter." As soon as Bella came back, Mom did a DNA match and found there was no father-daughter relationship, but the photos of Dad having an affair with his childhood sweetheart were taken by the private detective Mom hired. I didn't expect that for so many years. He's been raising a child for others. "Mom said she would have had a child for you, but you didn't want it." It's really sad and pitiful. Impossible, impossible. Dad didn't believe it, but he was already on the verge of breaking down. "After you get out of prison, find the answers yourself. It should be very exciting then." Of course, this was no longer my concern. How cruelly Dad would retaliate against his childhood sweetheart in the end, and how cruelly he would treat Bella, was all his business. At worst, I could read another joke. I walked out of prison and looked at the clear sky outside. I smiled with relief. Next, I would thoroughly enjoy the family warmth that I didn't fully experience in my previous life. I sincerely wish that all the beauty in the world would always be by your side and mine.